We're continuing to see widespread rain across our area. I'll have the forecast and let you know how long it will last coming up.
Plus, AAA gives its estimates on how many people will be traveling over the Thanksgiving holiday.
And later, after being law for the last 13 years, could Act 10 be on the way out? We take a look at what the future holds for unions as a Dane County judge prepares to strike down a portion of the law. Welcome to News 3 Now. Well, good evening and thanks for watching. We begin with weather, where wet conditions today could, wait for it, turn into our first snowfall of the season.
It's about that time, but first we have to deal with mild temperatures before the temperatures start to drop. So for the latest on these conditions, let's check in with meteorologist Jacob Montesano as the rain continues to fall. Jacob.
Yeah, looking at the radar behind me, pretty much everyone has seen rain at some point today. Now, we are starting to see a little bit of a break in the rainfall for far southern and far southwestern Wisconsin, but we are going to see more rain move back into these areas in the next few hours. Now, let's take a look at the amount of rainfall that we've seen so far. Now, or let's first take a look at the entire system as a whole. We are seeing that rain extend all the way down south, south of just Illinois, Missouri, but even further south towards even Louisiana. So this is a pretty widespread system across the United States. And as we take a look at the current wind speeds, they also are pretty breezy, up to around 20 miles per hour for parts of the area. Further north, not quite as windy, but those winds are going to move up into your region as well. So here's a look at future track throughout the night. Like I mentioned, we're going to see more widespread rain move back into the areas that are seeing that break right now. And it could be heavy at times, could be heavy for a few hours as well, especially between around 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. But it is going to clear up a little bit by the time we get to Tuesday morning. And the temperatures will fall a little bit later in the day on Tuesday into Tuesday night, and that's when we could see the snowfall later on Wednesday. So I'll talk more in detail about that coming up a little bit later.
Jacob, thank you. We're just a little over a week away from Thanksgiving, and you know what that means, another busy period for traveling.
News 3 Now's Kyle Pozorski helps break down the numbers, including what you should know if you're planning to drive to your Turkey Day destination.
Across the country, Americans are gearing up to get out for the Thanksgiving holiday.
For the first time, we're looking at a 7-day travel window, starting on Tuesday before Thanksgiving and ending that Monday. And we're projecting nearly 80 million people are going to be traveling domestically during that time. This is going to be a new record.
Of that 80 million, 71.7 million people will be hitting the roads and taking advantage of lower gas prices. Wisconsin's average for regular fuel at this time in 2023 was $3.04 a gallon, dropping to $2.83 this year.
Gas prices are much lower than they were this time last year, and we could be seeing a national average around Thanksgiving that's below $3 a gallon, which we haven't seen since 2021.
So when should you hit the road? INRIX, a provider of transportation data and insights, says Thursday and Wednesday afternoon are the worst times to travel by car. And the best time to hit the road is Thanksgiving Day, when interstates and highways are typically clearer. But no matter when you choose to travel, the best tip is to use caution.
AAA's biggest safety message is always slow down, move over. With an additional 1 million people on the roads, you're going to have more congestion, more cars, and unfortunately more emergencies.
And for those planning to take a flight, be prepared for busy terminals, as air travel is also expected to set a new record, up more than 2% compared to last year.
Kyle, thank you. AAA says the most popular domestic destinations include places in the South. However, tourist-driven places in Europe like Rome, Paris, and Amsterdam lead the most popular foreign destinations.
President-elect Donald Trump is naming former Wisconsin Representative Sean Duffy as his nominee to be Transportation Secretary. Duffy was a special prosecutor and Ashland County District Attorney who won election to Congress as part of a Tea Party wave in 2010. He served in the House for nearly 9 years, was a member of the Financial Services Committee, and was chairman of the Subcommittee on Insurance and Housing. He left Congress in 2019 and is now a co-host of a show on Fox Business called The Bottom Line.
Well, it is time to move on. That is what Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde said in a message to his supporters.
Today, he conceded the election in a 6-minute-long video on social media. Hovde started the video by repeating the issues he ran his campaign on, saying that he's concerned most with the U.S. government's debt crisis, domestic security, international security, and the political division and rhetoric the country is facing. He continued to say the election results were disappointing for his campaign and raised concerns about the legitimacy of the vote. He alluded that the absentee ballots that get reported late into the night lacked integrity, and he says that a recount would not do anything to change that.
A request for a recount would serve no purpose because you will just be recounting the same ballots regardless of their integrity. As a result, and my desire to not add to political strife through a contentious recount, I've decided to concede the election.
In Wisconsin, Senator Tammy Baldwin received more than 29,000 more votes than Hovde. The final count came in the morning after Election Day, when the last absentee ballots were reported in Milwaukee around 4 a.m. Hovde could have requested a recount because the margin of defeat was less than 1 percentage point, but he would have had to pay for it himself.
A man charged in the death of a 3-year-old boy in Manitowoc County is pleading not guilty in court today. Jesse Vang was caring for his girlfriend's son, Elijah Vu, when he reported him missing in February. Vu's remains were later discovered in September. Doctors who examined the boy's remains determined the toddler suffered from physical abuse, psychological and emotional maltreatment, as well as neglect. Vang faces 4 counts, including hiding a corpse. No trial date has been set. Prosecutors have until February 7th to make Vang a plea offer. Vu's mother, Katrina Bauer, is also charged in this case and plans to return to court February 12th.
Jurors will be at the Dane County Courthouse Wednesday for the trial of a former pool employee charged with sexually assaulting kids on the job. The Dane County District Attorney charged 70-year-old James Miker with 3 counts of second-degree sexual assault of a child. Miker was an Oregon community pool employee at the time of the alleged assaults. A criminal complaint alleged he groped children in July of 2022. A victim allegedly told his mother Miker groped him twice while in the pool. The victim's mother told the pool supervisor about the incidents. Her son was switched to a different instructor the following week, but Miker continued teaching other children. When the mother asked the pool director about the change in instructor, he reportedly said it was the only thing they could do because they couldn't afford to fire Miker due to staffing shortages. The same thing happened to another child. Miker's trial begins tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning.
A man is dealing with minor burns after a fire at a beaver dam storage facility. It happened Friday night around 9:18 on North Center Street. Firefighters found the fire in the northeast corner of the building. They began working to put out the flames while paramedics located and cared for the man. It took firefighters about half an hour to put out the blaze. 6 units were damaged, while several others received smoke damage. The man was taken to Marshfield Medical Center with minor burns. The fire remains under investigation.
Well, coming up on News 3 Now at 6, how you may be able to lower your heating bill this winter.
Plus, doctors share some tips for parents and caregivers on how to keep children safe from preventable injuries. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what you need when you've been in a serious truck accident. Call Gruber Law Offices. We've successfully helped people injured by big trucks for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Nobody wants to think about cold weather, but now's the time to winterproof your home. Is your house cold every winter? Your home needs foam. Are your heating costs too high? Your home needs foam. Do you have different temperatures in different rooms? Your home needs foam. USA Premium Foam is over 35% more efficient than ordinary, weaker insulation. Winterproof now and get 0% financing for 72 months.
USA Insulation.
Dashing has been very helpful for me. Definitely brought me a significant amount of extra income and allowed me to comfortably pay my bills and live a lifestyle and get out and have some fun. portable benefits would be great. It would allow me to afford health care, dental insurance, and vision insurance. That's great because, as you can see, I wear glasses. I will need to get more eye exams because I'm getting up there in age. I love the freedom and flexibility of dashing, and portable benefits will give me an additional peace of mind.
Finally, I get to see the doctor I want to see because I made the switch. I had Medicare Advantage, but I had to drop my primary care doctor and navigate confusing medical networks to find a new one. I thought my coverage was good enough, but nothing was ever easy. I found a better way with a Medicare supplement insurance plan from WPS. No worries, no hassles, no networks. Now, my friends are the only network I need.
There's a lot to love about life in the 608. Fundraisers, farmers markets, family events.
Tell Josh what inspires you, and it might be featured on News 3 Now this morning in the 608. Weekdays only on News 3 Now this morning. You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Today is National Injury Prevention Day. In the U.S., injuries that could have been prevented are a leading cause of death for children between the ages of 1 and 19.
The causes of these injuries range from car crashes to firearms, drownings, and unsafe sleep spaces. Pediatric emergency medicine Dr. Manisha Agarwal with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says parents can help prevent some of the main dangers children face. For babies, make sure they sleep on their back, alone in a clear crib to lower suffocation risk. Once kids are older, drowning becomes a leading cause of death. Agarwal says to make sure children can't access the water while unsupervised.
So making sure you have good pool fences, that you're using life jackets when you're out on natural bodies of water.
The doctor also says it's also important to keep up with product recalls. She says continuing to use a product that's been deemed unsafe can also put children at unnecessary risk. You can find out the latest recalls and even sign up for alerts through the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
The DNR is giving the city of Baraboo a brownfield grant to investigate environmental conditions at a former dairy manufacturing site. The location is on Vine Street on the Baraboo River and was once home to IAM Dairy. Before that, it housed a foundry and machine shop. Baraboo has plans to convert the site into a new park. However, sites near the location have been proven to be contaminated.
Wisconsin will receive more than $101 million to reduce energy costs ahead of the winter season. It's thanks to the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program federal fund. It allows households to receive payment assistance for gas, electric, and other methods to heat your home. The funding can also be used to weatherize homes and make them more energy efficient. If you're interested in applying for the program, you can do so at energyhelp.us.
Well, still ahead tonight at 6, a Dane County judge prepares to issue his final ruling on Act 10.
When we come back, what it means for the future of union power in the state. And could we also see our first snowfall of the season this week? Jacob is back with the complete forecast when we come back.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers. Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
Steinhaffel's Black Friday deals start right now. Get the season's best prices on amazing bonus buys like a Sealy mattress just $199. This rocker recliner only $349. A sofa $599. A dining table now $699. Or a queen bed only $799. And with Steinhaffel's special 18-month financing, your new room just got more affordable. Black Friday savings start now, in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. for a hand up. Apply today.
You want it, we got it, it's all here. Rosemont it. You want some ice time, a nice time, so good you post it twice time. You want some cheer? Now I'll show you where you gotta be. Tell you who you gotta see. Ooh, it's gonna make you smile. You want it, we got it, it's all here. Rosemont.
Enjoy the magic of the North Pole, just east of O'Hare, with miles of memories waiting to be made. To Rosemont it your way, start at rosemont.com.
Rosemont it.
Winning at Ho-Chunk Gaming just got bigger, like mega bigger. When you win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, you're automatically entered into our mega jackpot winners quarterly drawings with a grand prize drawing on January 18th to win a new Jeep Wagoneer Carbide and a chance for $100,000 in cash. Jackpot weekly drawings are going on now. Mondays, 10 winners, $500 in rewards play. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. The 13-year legacy of Act 10 could soon be changing.
That's as a Dane County judge has started the process of striking down a major portion of the collective bargaining law. Political reporter Will Keneally is here to show us what's happening. Will?
Well, the legacy of Act 10, it's a story about power, not only the power for public employees to negotiate with their bosses, but about the deeper impact to politics in Wisconsin. It's been 13 years since public sector employees lost most of their collective bargaining rights under 2011 Act 10. At the top level, this impacted government employees across the state, but was also felt by students in Wisconsin as well.
We see Act 10 as certainly the root cause for the teacher shortage in Wisconsin.
That's Peggy Wirtz-Olson, who heads the state teachers union. Under Act 10, public sector workers could only negotiate for raises tied to inflation, but nothing regarding workplace benefits.
We could sit across the table and negotiate directly with our employers about workplace safety, health care, additional hours, all those types of things and those safety issues that matter deeply to our students. Act 10 changed that.
With those changes also came a big shift in Wisconsin politics.
In fact, the teachers union was one of the most influential groups in Democratic politics. When Scott Walker and the legislature passed Act 10, they were not only doing it because they wanted to control the costs of employees, but also because it would weaken the Democratic Party because the teachers union would be weakened.
Let's take a look at what this means for the political power of unions. Now, we pulled this data from the State Ethics Commission covering a 10-year span pre and post Act 10. Now, this represents the revenues going into the political action committees that represent some of the major public sector unions in Wisconsin. As you can see from this top line here, that's the state teachers union, and you can see that major drop-off in 2011. But you can also look at the enrollment numbers for the unions. Membership in the union covering state, county, and municipal workers declined by roughly 46% during the period of Act 10. Now, the head of the state teachers union says this impacts the employees that you can retain.
They choose to go somewhere else, where quite honestly, they make more money, and in neighboring states still have the right to collectively bargain.
It has just been a devastating thing to Wisconsin, really, to the working class.
Rocco DeMarc is an engineer at the Racine Unified School District. He had a taste of 1 year under a pre-Act 10 union contract.
Our freedom of speech, freedom to gather, all that kind of stuff, I think that's just unconstitutional to prevent that.
But Wisconsin could be on the precipice of having that law overturned. It could be struck down based on who lawmakers took union rights away from.
They didn't do that for all state employees. They left or basically protected certain classes of state employees in terms of their union participation, organization, and negotiation. And those were largely what they term first responders.
Earlier this year, a Dane County judge indicated that he will strike down a major portion of the law based on the fact that the law treats first responders differently than other state employees. With a liberal majority on the state Supreme Court, we could very well see that law on the chopping block.
We have been educating, we've been organizing, we're preparing, and we will be ready.
Now, the unions don't quite have a timeline right now on when that Dane County judge will issue his final ruling.
Will, thank you. The Milwaukee Bucks are returning to television Wisconsin this year, giving fans more ways to watch their favorite players. WISC-TV will be broadcasting 5 games starting on December 4th when the Bucks take on the Atlanta Hawks. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The other matchups include the San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves, Dallas Mavericks, and Denver Nuggets.
Well, all this rain could lead to a little snow later in the week. Here's Jacob with the complete forecast.
Thanks, Susan. Yeah, that rain that we're seeing right now, it is expected to last for quite a while into the morning hours early on Tuesday. So we could see an additional 1 to 2 inches overnight. Areas to the north may see a little bit more, considering you folks haven't seen as much up until this point. And then as the temperatures cool down, we could be seeing our first snowfall of the year. And looking a little bit forward towards Thanksgiving, we are going to remain pretty active for next week as well. So here's a look at the current radar. Again, we are starting to see a little bit of a break in the rainfall for Madison Point south and southwestward, but there's going to be more rain moving in. Now, taking a look at the amount of rainfall we've seen so far, some places have already picked up about a ½ inch. Maybe some areas have seen, isolated locations have seen close to an inch, and this is also just radar estimated. It is possible that some areas have seen a little bit more, but a wide area of about a ½ inch of rainfall already, and we're going to be seeing an additional inch for a lot of the area. So here's a look at that forecast for the next several hours. Not too much rain during the early evening hours, but once we get to around 9 to 10 p.m., we'll see more heavy rain move back into the area. Can't rule out a few rumbles of thunder, but we're not going to see any severe weather, certainly. And this is going to continue into the very early morning hours Tuesday. But once we get closer to sunrise, a lot of the rain will begin to break up, and areas to the west will see that rain end a bit earlier. Areas to the east may see it last a little bit longer. Now, once we officially get to sunrise, we're not going to see too much rain across our area, but some sprinkles are still possible, especially through the morning. But for the most part, we're going to be dry on Tuesday. But as we get into Tuesday night, the winds are going to shift out of the west and the northwest, which will bring in that cold air. And look off to the west, some light snow is expected to move into Wisconsin for Wednesday afternoon and evening. Now, overnight Wednesday, we're going to see moisture coming into our area from the east. Now, it's a bit unclear how far east this moisture will get, but it is possible that we see some of that snow, also some rain-snow mix move into our area for Thursday. But even if it does snow, we're still not expecting a lot of accumulation. And it looks like the moisture may linger into Thursday afternoon, but we're looking fairly dry by Thursday night. Now, we're also going to be very windy. Overnight tonight will be the windiest time this week, where wind gusts could be up to 40, maybe even 45 miles per hour. But it's going to clear, or it's going to calm down once the rain moves out, but it's still going to be a bit breezy throughout the week, with the winds picking back up by the time we get to Thursday, with once again wind gusts up to around 45 miles per hour. Now, we are going to be quiet to end the week Friday and Saturday, but as I mentioned, next week is looking fairly active. Not ideal conditions for people that may be traveling for Thanksgiving, but a lot can change between now and then. We're not too focused on next week yet, but it does look like we'll still see some more moisture nonetheless.
And still to come in sports, a seismic shift for Wisconsin football. The coaching move they made and why they made it. Next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Technology is everywhere, and our kids are embracing it to learn, play, and socialize. But with endless ways to access the digital world, monitoring their screen time can be tough. So SSM Health and News 3 Now created the Time for Kids Digital Playbook. Join us on air and online for stories and strategies to help your family navigate, set rules, and stay safe in the ever-evolving digital age. Let's focus on tech together by taking Time for Kids.
This is Franklin Graham. The southern part of the United States got hit by terrific storms this fall. So many people have been hurt. We all go through storms in life. It may be a marriage, it may be our children, it may be our health, cancer. Do you have an anchor to hang on to as you go through these storms? I do, and that's Jesus Christ. 50 years ago, I gave my life to Jesus Christ. If you've never done that, you can do that right now. Just pray this prayer with me. Just say, God, I'm a sinner. I'm sorry for my sins. Forgive me. I believe that Jesus Christ is your Son, that he died for my sins on the cross, and that he was buried, but on the third day you raised him to life, and I would like to invite him to come into my heart and live from this day forward forever. Amen. If you prayed that prayer, call the number that's on the screen. If someone would like to pray with you, talk to you right now, just call that number that's on the screen. God bless you.
Germs, dust, bacteria, unseen to the naked eye. They build up in your ductwork and contaminate the air you breathe. Gross! Breathe easier this winter. For a limited time, save $75 off on duct cleaning services and save $50 on whole home enhancing ionizer to really enhance your home's air quality. You and your family will breathe easier all winter long. But don't wait. These offers end soon. Schedule your service with Cardinal today.
Tens of millions of roofs across America are failing, wearing out decades early and leaking, oftentimes without you knowing about it, causing tremendous damage. Here's how you know you have a problem with your roof. Black streaking, your roof looks rough, or granules shedding off into your gutters or showing up in your driveway. Your roof is wearing out too fast and it's going to cost you a bundle. RoofMax makes your roof like new by strengthening and rejuvenating it. So give us a call and we'll give you a free assessment to see if your roof qualifies.
This is not an easy thing. Obviously, you guys all understand that. This is a very tough decision. And it's even, one of those things that's incredibly tough, not on everybody involved.
That was Luke Fickell this morning, talking for the first time since firing his offensive coordinator, Phil Longo. Now, he says he never envisioned making a move of this magnitude mid-season, but emphasized that his belief is that this was the right time to make the change. There will be no change at quarterback. Fickell says there was never a doubt Braden Locke will remain the starter, but what we still don't know is who the interim offensive coordinator is. This was his answer this morning when asked who will be calling plays.
Why does it matter? Right? I mean, the offense will, be run, and those guys will do a lot of things collaboratively together, and I don't think it really is important as to who's calling it. I guess it gives you the ability to point a finger at somebody if that's the case, but it's not one of those things I think is that important. Sometimes I think it's overrated in some ways, but it'll be a collaborative group, and those guys will have to work a lot together.
The Wisconsin men took college basketball in that world by storm last week, knocking off number 9 Arizona. And today they were rewarded for it, landing at number 19 in this week's AP poll. A big reason for all the success has been John Tonje. After scoring 41 points in that win, he was named the Big Ten's Player of the Week and the National Player of the Week by ESPN. The Badgers host UT Rio Grande Valley. Later on tonight, we'll have the highlights. But the honors did not stop there for the Badgers. After a sweep in L.A., Sarah Franklin was named the Big Ten's Player of the Week for the second week in a row. Frank the Tank tallied 32 kills out in California, and her teammate, Charlie Furbringer, was tabbed the conference's Freshman of the Week. She finished with 82 assists over the weekend. Up next for Kelly Sheffield's squad, a date with Minnesota on Wednesday. There's nothing much better than a border battle.
Exactly right. Yeah, good luck to them. Okay, and the rain continues to fall.
Yeah, it's going to continue through tomorrow morning, but then the temperatures will cool down for Wednesday and Thursday, and we could see our first snowfall, although accumulation is very unlikely, and if it does accumulate, it's going to melt very quickly.
All right, that'll do it for us at 6.
See you later tonight at 10.